Hi! So why are toddlers stinkers sometimes? In my observation, toddlers misbehave at times because they're developmentally in a place where they're beginning to form opinions, and they are learning how to express these opinions. These opinions may be different than ours, or expressed at inconvenient times for the parent, so we label it as misbehaving. A toddler also gets easily frustrated because they are still learning how to communicate. Take, for example, the toddler that throws a piece of food on the ground or refuses to eat some food offered to them. They are exercising their willpower. This is developmentally understandable, and yet parents, myself included, think that I know best and are tempted to force my opinion or the food on the child. And I did that, unfortunately. There are many strategies to expose new foods to your child or make sure your child is getting the right amount of nutrition. Support their right to choose at appropriate times so that when you need to have them obey or follow your advice, mealtime or bedtime, for instance, they are more satisfied that you understand them and listen. Sometimes it's hard to know when to let them choose and when they should do what you want them to do. The website 0 to 3 agrees. They say, some examples include, now these are examples of when you should allow them to choose on their own. What to wear? Perhaps offer 2 choices, not everything in the drawer. What to eat? Within reason. What to play? Who to play with. This gives your child the feeling of control and supports his or her growing confidence and sense of competency. The belief that I can do it. And that's what they want to feel at this stage. 0 to 3 continues. Offering choices also helps head off the not that one game, where you keep offering your child different things and he keeps saying, not that one, the other one. Instead, try giving your child 3 choices or 2 choices and let him pick. You can have an apple or string cheese, or you can have a bagel or a cracker. What sounds good to you? Now, remember that toddlers are people too. There are lots of fun ways to help your toddler practice self-control. They want to have confidence and contentedness just like we do. So remember, your toddler is a sophisticated, smart person stuck in a developing body. You can learn a lot about what they need and what they want by watching them, listening to them, getting to know who they are. You are privileged to be their guide through each developmental stage. Once you learn to really interact and listen to your toddler, you can have meaningful exchanges all day long. You and your toddler will be happier and will feel closer to one another. I've cared for children all my life, and I have found music to be the best way to engage with them. I know that you'll feel like a better parent after using some of these tips and tools that I'm going to share with you now. Your toddler will be more satisfied and content. A toddler is full of surprises. You truly begin starting to get to know the person they are when you watch them. Watching is also very important for learning what your child likes and wants. In my experience, my 2-year-olds already had unique personality traits that they now have as adults. My oldest, for instance, was an independent thinker from the get-go. She didn't care what I thought, and she wanted to do things her way. Rules were restrictions for her, and she was sweet and generous when it was her idea. She's fun and spontaneous today, always full of fun ideas. Everything is funner when she is around. Another one of my children cared about my opinion. He thought rules were no big deal. He kept them and moved on. He was naturally in tune with others' needs. I remember when he was 2, in a toddler class, when a fellow toddler toppled 1.5 feet off of a short crawling toy. He went over to her and helped her up. That kind of outside awareness of self is very unusual for a child that young, but it is consistent with who he is today as a 25-year-old man. By watching your child, you also learn what they like and what they don't. Just because they don't like it right away doesn't mean they don't have to do it. You are their guide by introducing them to new and important things, like vegetables and classical music. As you notice activities they like doing over and over and words they learn first, you can use these interests to teach them valuable lessons. For example, my youngest son loves running. He has from the time he was a toddler. He still loves running. If I want some quality time with him, I go running with him. He has my attention and I have his. I communicate that I love him more effectively when I am doing what he loves with him. All children like music. That is why engaging with a toddler and teaching them new things is so easy through music. After watching your child, you know what they are like. There are songs about anything that your child likes. If your child likes animals, use animal songs to challenge them or teach them boundaries and strengthen their literacy and confidence. There are endless number of songs about trains, balls, babies, nature, and whatever else your toddler likes. When you see what songs your child wants to sing over and over again, or what dances or instruments your child asks for, you are learning what they want. Listening and following a toddler might sound silly, but let's think about these ideas. You will be emotionally present while engaged in a musical activity or a finger play with your child. In so doing, you can express love in many ways throughout these musical exchanges. Love is expressed by hugging, rocking, complimenting him or her in their efforts in music. But love is also expressed as you let him or her explore the song, the instrument, and his or her voice. Listen to your toddler's ideas. Listen with your eyes. Listen with your ears and follow his lead by copying his voice, copying his movements. Copy how he uses the instrument. Copy how he uses the object during a musical activity. These actions of you following their lead show respect to your child and as a result, build their confidence. I'm a firm believer that a parent should say yes as often as they can so that when they need to say no, it really matters. There are lots of opportunities for you to say yes in musical activities. Yes, we can tap instead of stomp. Yes, we can twirl instead of lunge. I mean, there's so many things that they can choose in music and they feel listened to. They feel understood. And so when it's time for you to be listened to, then they feel more secure and they're more likely to follow your lead. These active listening skills during a musical activity will strengthen your relationship with your child in ways that are not as easily arranged during the normal rush and grind of the day. So you can see that taking time to learn music and then integrating it through your routine really pays off. Of course, you must also expose and teach your child new songs and movements to expand their world, not just always doing what they want. This is part of pleasing their need to be challenged. They will be delighted to learn new songs, which brings new words, new movements, and important lessons about their world. Many elements of dance and instruments will stretch your child's abilities. Introduce these things with enthusiasm, modeling the best way while being patient and open to exploration and individual expression. Lastly, boundaries can be set and maintained in music experiences that pay large dividends in practical, everyday applications. For example, when a child is introduced to instruments, which starts with simple rhythm sticks, I teach toddlers that these are not toys. They're special and need to be treated properly. After teaching the way to care for an instrument, then you must be consistent in imposing a consequence to mistreatment. Remember that positive feedback is a much more effective motivator than punishment. An example of this is when I teach a toddler how to treat rhythm sticks, I say, while holding them in my hands, these are our rhythm sticks. They're not toys. They're special. We will keep them in this tub, not in the toy box. We don't throw them. We don't step on them. We don't put them in our mouths or leave them hanging around. If you throw or misuse your instrument, I will take it away. I love you. And as you use these rhythm sticks correctly, you'll have so much fun making super cool music with them. After setting these expectations, then moms and dads, it's your job to stick to it. No pun intended. By putting the sticks away if your child throws them, or if they leave them on the ground, have them pick them up. When they put them in their mouth, you need to remind them that they aren't for our mouths. You set the boundaries and then keep them. When the child knows from experience that you keep your word, they'll believe you in many other areas of your day. Let's take 2-year-olds, for instance. The terrible twos are not true in my experience. I don't know if it is because of the respectful relationship I had with my 5 toddlers, or if it is because the term is just wrong. Regardless, you should not think it or say it. Your toddler is more independent than ever before and naturally wants to be trusted, similar to a teenager. You can listen and let the child have his or her way when deciding on actions. For clap your hands till the music stops, which is a song that I teach in the next video. You may not as easily actively listen to your child's every whim when you are late for an appointment, for instance, or when it's time to go to bed. The time you invested throughout the day to listen at convenient times, for instance, in music time, will pay off on the rare occasion that you need the child to obey without asking questions. You'll be that happy parent with the interactive, satisfied, happy child. I think that music does it all. You can watch to see what your toddler needs and likes. You can listen actively. You can follow their lead, and you can teach them to keep boundaries. All of these methods are easily done within the context of singing together. A few more ideas for toddlers learning self-control would be, number 1, play games that require taking turns. Another one would be roll a ball back and forth. This teaches patience and control. Remember, it's a child's natural impulse to grab the ball. If your child is old enough, you can take turns hitting a soft foam ball off of a tee. But these are opportunities for you to teach patiently how to do something the right way and also to have fun. Another idea, number 3, put together an age-appropriate puzzle together. Or number 4, act out a story like the 3 Little Pigs or the Little Red Hen. And lastly, I think that sharing music time together is a wonderful way to help teach a child self-control and self-confidence. Well, I hope that you enjoy applying some of these tricks that I've learned over the years. I know that you're very lucky to have a toddler and that you're doing a great job. Have a musical day. In the next video, you'll see me watching, listening, and following and establishing boundaries within the context of a musical song with a toddler. Also, there are more songs that you can see me in or that you can introduce to your children on my Teachable website, which I've included here on the lesson.